If you get really serious about your cruising, then you want a really serious cruising boat, and that's what this is. This is a Dale 40. This is based on a Dale Nelson semi-displacement hull designed by Arthur Mersall, and that's the guy that designs the boats for pilots and offshore working, all that kind of thing, customs, etc. This is designed as a serious heavy weather cruising boat. So it takes that sort of really rugged underpins, but then it puts a luxury interior and exterior on top of it. It's serious kit, this. As I say, it's the sort of thing you buy when you get properly serious about your cruising and you want to do it in all weathers. And the point of it is not just the seakeeping, but the practicality. So for example, you get this really thick D-section rubber around here, so it can really take the knocks. You get side decks that drop down low with gates in them, so that you can step on amidships. You don't have to go around the back and then onto the bathing platform and climb up onto the top. It's designed for proper boating, this. It's a lovely, lovely bit of kit. I'm going to take my shoes off and I'm going to take you on board, and we are going to do the full tour. This is what I'm talking about. Although it does have the steps here, you don't really need them if you're on a pontoon, because you can just step aboard like this. It's fantastic. There's lots to show you on the outside, and we're going to do that, of course. It's very, very much an owner-operator spec. It's also very, very much a custom hand build. It's very, very solid. They build these in Neyland in Wales, and yeah, I cannot emphasize enough what a proper boat this is. So we're going to start here on the aft deck. You've got the helm up here. There is an internal helm as well. I will show you that. Bow and stern thruster on this one. We've got, of course, the navigation. Look at this across here. We've got the length, the beam, the draft, the air draft, even with the aerials and the burgee as to what height this needs, because if you're going everywhere and anywhere with a boat like this, you need to know what it's going to fit through in terms of locks, bridges and that kind of thing. That on its own, I think, tells you everything you need to know about the kind of people that run boats like this and the kind of boating it's intended to do. Serious stuff. And then even before we get inside, you can see things like this and get an impression of the sheer quality. These are hand built and handcrafted, and with all respect to mass production companies like Jeannot, and I run a Jeannot myself and I'm very pleased with it, this is the difference. This is what you don't see on mass produced boats. This is absolutely rock solid, serious, big league. Let's go on in and I'll talk you through the rest of it. It's an aft cabin layout, which is why we came down into the saloon, because the accommodation is the full length of the boat. This then is the saloon area. There's another helm down here, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. You've got the folding table, it's height adjustable as well, and then a nice, well, saloon area, obviously. But what you can do with this, which is quite clever, is at the minute, this whole unit is right forward to give you maximum space around here. The helm seats themselves are right up against the helm. We can press a button here and the whole lot will gently move back, so gently that we're going to come back to that in a minute. There's another seat over here. There is a chart table that fits onto here. That's what that slot is for, and I'll show you where that is when we go a bit further back down the boat. We've got the opening side windows. We've also got the overhead hatches. These are electric hatches, so there's a button here. We can push that and they will slide closed thusly, and then there are blinds, of course, that then come across as well. So they can open or close at will. There's another one on that side. We're going to head forward now down to the lower deck. Now this again, owner specification. As standard, these have a large day heads that comes across here and links up to the forward cabin. This owner wanted to have a dinette down here, wanted a little snug so he can tuck himself away. And so they built this one for him with this area here. It's not standard, and this is the level of customization. It's not just choosing whether you want, you know, the colour of the curtains and the colour of the carpets and that sort of thing. On this one, they'll literally build the boat how you want it. It's proper custom building stuff. And again, everything's absolutely rock solid everywhere. Little lockers down here for bits of gear to go into. Again, the height adjustable table. lockers dotted around everywhere. There is air conditioning on this one, but they've got fans as well. And then the galley is behind me. So this is all electric cooking on this one. And then again, plenty of storage about the place. Of course, sink underneath here. These are made specifically for the owner's crockery and glasses and so forth. So again, that's done exactly how you want it to fit what you're going to put in it. We've got the actual oven is over here. And fridge down here, of course. There's a second fridge on here as well. I'll show you that in a moment. Forward of this then is the forward cabin. So this is the guest cabin. Now this has the heads here. This is a smaller heads than you would have normally, because this area normally extends right back across here. As I say, that's what's changed with this one. And as ever with boats, you only get to use the space once. Once that's used for a dinette, clearly you can't use it for this. So as a result, this one's got a wet room here. So it does have the shower and all the facilities. What it doesn't have is a separate shower. And that's what you would have if you didn't have the dinette. But as I say, owner specification. If that's what you want, sir, that is what they will build for you. I love the way they've done this with beautifully curved doors like this. The woodwork in these is exemplary. Oak on this one, but again there are choices with that. Big wardrobe over on this side, and then twin V berths up here. Lovely. This is all again bits more storage up in places like this. So towels, bedding, whatever else you want to keep in there, you have homes for it. Very good. Useful shelves up here as well. Nice. That's the air conditioning controls. You've got lighting controls here as well, of course. And the overhead hatch is overhead. Who'd have thunk it? Let's press on back. Plenty more to see, including the fact that we now have the helm station here, because this has all powered itself back. We've got adjustable seats. That's what these fellas here are for, so we can put those forward and back at will. Beautiful quality leather with this stitched Dale logos on here. It's all so nicely done. Look at this for the compass. Gorgeous. We've got the twin Garmin screens on this one. The VHF radio is there with the speaker for it. The Garmin autopilot control is here. We've got C-zone control panel for the boat. That's tucked away down here, so this is getting us into all the various control systems and bits and pieces. That one there is a chain counter, so when you put your anchor chain out, it's telling you how much chain you are using, and then switch gear down here for nav lights and anchor lights and horn and so forth. That's all right there. And a nice commanding helm position here. The view from here is brilliant because you're well forward and the coach roof is nice and low. These are these sliding doors on the sliding windows even. I know what I mean, on the outside. What else was I going to show you here? There's a fridge tucked away down underneath this one. There we go. And on this side is a bar area, and again this was all made to owner specification to fit the required glasses, the required bottles, everything that's required. It's tailor-made specifically for that. Another fridge down underneath that one as well. Let's head on back a bit further. This is that little chart table. So this unbolts from here and you can lift that off, and then it slots into that slot there and attaches to that rail. So you've got somewhere for your navigator to lay the charts out if required. And this one here is an EPIRB. That's an emergency beacon, basically. So in an emergency situation, find yourself in the water, boat going down, whatever else, that will send out a signal and let the emergency services know that you've got a problem where you are, and they can come and get you. Again, serious kit. Very good. Owner's cabin then, that's right back here. This is what I mean about it being an aft cabin layout, because we're now right to the very back of the boat. That's the transom across there. And it means that you've got a lot of space within the boat, but you've also got a lot of privacy because you are at completely opposite ends to your guests, which is excellent. This one then, if we come around here, that one's clipped back, hang on, there we go. Huge wardrobes. Again, it's back to this being a serious cruising boat. You want plenty of space to put all your stuff away, and your blazer and so forth. And you've got it. So that is there. And then bits of storage around the place like this, for whatever you want to keep in there. Opening windows at the back, and we've got a deck hatch overhead as well. And then this again was an owner specification extra that was added, just a bit more storage. And it's over here too. Fantastic. Just loads of space to put things away. It's a proper cruising machine, but as I say, it's not a floating apartment. It is a very serious seaboat, and that's the key with this. So it's a little narrower, it's a little deeper in the water, and it's absolutely designed to bust through big seas. It's what it's built for. Ensuite is here. Now this one is a bit bigger. We have got the doors that come across to enclose the shower area at that end, and then we've got, of course, the sink is here and the loo, and a very small mirror for a little mirror wave. Ah, there's a bigger mirror. Thought there must be somewhere. There we go, that's back there. Again, lots of storage tucked away about the place, and again the finish, these big fiddles around here to stop things falling out, the woodwork around the portholes. It's all so beautifully done. Big league. Very, very nice indeed. Now the other thing we can look at while we're back here, incidentally you'll notice that we've got overhead lights, but we've also got low level lighting. If we have a look down here, you can see it right around the bed and around there. So you can split those off and just have the low level lighting if you want, or have the whole lot on. And this one then is engine access. If I turn that one and that one, what am I doing wrong? Ah, there we go, didn't turn it far enough. This takes us into the engine space. Now, we've got the saloon floor, of course, at this level. Again, as we came on, we saw this was quite a low boat. Let me just clip this door back again. So that brings the height down here, but nonetheless, it's still a very get-at-able engine space. Look at this. And in fact, the fuel tanks, rather than being outside as they often are on boats, are down the centre line in the keel. They're actually sunk into the keel. That does two things. It keeps the weight as low as possible in the boat, reduces the centre of gravity as much as possible, gives you the best stability, the best sea keeping, which is what this is all about. But it also means that if we come into here and work our way around, look how new and clean this is. Look how much space there is down the outboard side of the engines, because there's new fuel tanks here, which is what's usually, these are pressed up against the tanks. There's a bar heaters down there already installed, so it's easy to keep this area heated in the winter, keep it dry. We've got the generator in the centre here, that's this fellow, and then we've got things like the fuel filters over here. Now these are doubled up so that if you're running, so there's two for the port engine, two for the starboard engine. If you're running on this one and you had a blockage, you can flip that lever over, it's immediately running on that one. You can sort this blockage out without stopping the engine. Again, it's all about the serious sea-keeping nature. We've got seacocks down here, bringing the water in. And again, well, first of all, some very nice plumbing, but secondly, pretty good access down the outside of the engine. Very good. Okay, let's shuffle back a little bit and talk about performance. These engines are Volvo Penta. They are D6 440s, so they're 440 horsepower each. And it's a conventional shaft drive. You can see the shafts running down there, so Let's come around this side of the exhaust, that's better. Gearbox on the back of the engine, straight shaft. Very conventional, very simple, very sturdy. It's about the simplest and sturdiest drive system that you're going to get, and that's why this boat has it. You're looking at a maximum speed of about 25 knots. It's not about high speed particularly, it's about the ability to keep going. So she cruises at 18 knots, plenty fast enough for this sort of boat, but the idea is that it'll punch on through almost irrespective of weather. So a lot of boats, you know, you might get a boat that's 30 knots, but as soon as the sea picks up, you're backing off. This, you're running at 18 knots, and you just keep going. It's running at 18 knots almost regardless. I mean, clearly there are limits, but they're high limits. Range on this, probably about 300 miles at that sort of speed. As ever, you can drop the speed back and get a lot further, but at that sort of cruising speed, that's what we're talking about. We've got camera system in here. You can just see the, where am I pointing? The camera over there. So you can keep an eye on this area. But yeah, it's well lit, it's bright, and it's serviceable. There we go, again you can see the shaft running down on this side. So they go straight through and out of the hull. Propellers on the end of those shafts, rudders behind them. Dead simple. Very, very nice. Okay, I am going to come back out of here. Let's spin right on around. There we go. That's my socks squeaking on that non-slip floor. Let's come back out and I'll take you around the outside. Again, you've got this stunning woodwork, the way that this is all curved off. It is a proper job, this one, as Dale Nelson's always are. Let's head on out. Let's take another look at this. So this, as mentioned, this is a little bit smaller now because of these powered back, but of course when you're at harbour, if you touch that button, that powers itself away and you increase the space. Look how they put these handrails in the ceiling here. Again, it's all about being able to navigate in bad conditions and be safe and secure and move around the boat. Fabulous, this is. Fabulous. Let's press on. That's the hatch that is above that aft cabin. There's storage underneath all of these seats around here, so you've got space for deck gear. We've got Jack le Sac, looking very upright there, very formal. There's a folding table. It's just a freestanding table, of course. You can put whatever you like out of here. And then we've got the bimini overhead, but what you can do with this is you can see there are zips here. You can enclose all of this with screens that go around, so if you want this area fully enclosed, then you can have it, or you can have the bimini as we've got now, or of course it folds back out of the way on a nice day. And then nice high rails that circle around the boat. It's a very safe boat to move around. You can see these are right up at hip height, and then the steps down here bring you down, as we saw on the other side, nice and low for easy getting on and off. We've got waste, we've got fuel, and we've got fuel down on the side here. These are fender lockers. If we push that one there and give it a turn, there we go. The fenders could sit in there rather than have to go and find somewhere to put them at the back. That's very helpful. These are nice wide decks. Again, it's very much back to the practical thinking. It's a very workable boat. You've got the cleats here, but you've also got this huge bollard in the centre. Again, it's the sort of thing you find on a commercial boat because it's that sort of league. We've got clearly the anchor on the front here, anchor chain lockers down underneath. And that's how she looks from here. Very nice. Let's press on back a bit further. These are these sliding roofs. Remember, we closed one of them. That's what they look like when they're open. Little Glomax, I think there's a little satellite dome there in the centre with radar and antennas and GPS receivers, navigation lights, etc., all up on that stainless steel goalpost mast that goes up and across the top above the canopy. And then we come right on back. I will show you the tender handling kit. So what we've got on here is an electric davit on this bathing platform at the back of the boat. So that's the transom there. Those are the windows that we saw in that aft cabin. That's how far back that cabin goes. And then here, nice big bathing platform. But what you've got here, this fellow, what it does is it hinges to the whole thing. You see how it's got the writing sort of sideways. If you imagine that going through 90 degrees and that swinging as it goes down, it brings it out and over and down and into the water. 15 horsepower outboard on this one. Nice tender for a 40-foot boat, that's excellent. Life raft lives down here as well, ready for instant deployment, and it's got a hydrostatic release. That's that little round chap there. Worst case scenario, if the boat was to go down and you weren't to get that fast enough, it will release automatically, self-inflate, and bring itself back up, ready for your rescue. Again, it's all the kind of stuff you think you will never ever need, but it is immensely reassuring, and again it points back to the proper nature of this boat. Look at the size of this ensign on here. This is fantastic. This is a real deal stuff, definitely. You can buy cheaper boats, you can buy more voluminous boats, but you're not going to buy much that is going to punch through the weather any better than this at this size. That's what this does. It's serious kit. I may have mentioned that before. And there we go. I think we looked at this, didn't we? But we've got bow and stern thruster here, we've got navigation screens on here, autopilot again, communications, throttle controls, that's all there, and we've got some solar panels up on the top there as well. I think we have covered it. I am going to say massive thanks to Dale for giving me a look around that one and organising the tour, and huge thanks to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think of that one in the comments, and we'll catch you on one of these real soon. Take care. Bye bye.